Trust is very important in life. We use trust every day. We trust people. We trust systems. We trust information. Jimmy Wales says one thing clearly: without trust, nothing works. This book is not only about the internet. It is about human behavior. It is about truth. It is about responsibility. Jimmy Wales is the co-founder of Wikipedia. Wikipedia is built on trust. Millions of people write. Millions of people read. There is no single boss, yet it works. Why? Because of rules of trust. This book explains 7 rules. Each rule helps build trust. Each rule protects truth. Each rule helps society. Part 1 explains the base idea. What trust really means? What is trust? Trust means believing someone. Trust means feeling safe. Trust means expecting honesty. Trust is not blind belief. Trust is not luck. Trust is built. Jimmy Wales says trust has 3 parts: honesty, responsibility, transparency. If one part breaks, trust breaks. Trust is not automatic. People think trust comes easily. That is wrong. Trust takes time. Trust needs proof. Trust needs action. One lie can break trust. One hidden truth can break trust. One selfish action can break trust. Trust is fragile. Why trust matters today. Today we live in a digital world. Information moves fast. News spreads quickly. Lies also spread quickly. Jimmy Wales warns us: when trust is broken, truth disappears. Fake news grows. Manipulation grows. Fear grows. Without trust, democracy fails. Education becomes weak. Society becomes divided. Trust is the foundation of civilization. Wikipedia as a trust experiment. Wikipedia is a living example. Anyone can edit Wikipedia. Anyone can write. Anyone can make mistakes. Still, Wikipedia is trusted. Why? Because of open rules, community checking, clear standards. Mistakes are corrected. Lies are removed. Sources are required. Trust is managed, not assumed. Trust needs rules. Jimmy Wales explains: trust without rules becomes chaos. Rules without trust become control. Balance is necessary. Wikipedia has rules. Neutral point of view. Verifiable sources. No personal attacks. These rules protect truth. They protect people. They protect trust. Trust and responsibility. Trust gives power. Power needs responsibility. When people have freedom, they must act carefully. They must think about others. Jimmy Wales says, if you can influence others, you must be responsible. Writers influence readers. Creators influence society. Leaders influence millions. Responsibility is a key part of trust. Trust and truth. Truth is not opinion. Truth is not emotion. Truth is based on evidence. Trust grows when truth is respected. Jimmy Wales believes facts matter. Sources matter. Accuracy matters. If truth is ignored, trust dies. Trust is a social contract. Trust is an agreement. Not written, not spoken, but understood. People agree to tell the truth, act fairly, respect others. When someone breaks this contract, people lose faith. This happens in media, politics, social platforms. The book warns us to protect this contract. Trust and community. Trust is stronger in communities. A community watches behavior, corrects mistakes, encourages honesty. Wikipedia works because of community. No single person controls it. Many people care about it. Trust grows when people work together. Trust is built through action. Words are easy. Promises are easy. Action builds trust. Jimmy Wales emphasizes show honesty, admit mistakes, fix errors. When mistakes are hidden, trust breaks. When mistakes are admitted, trust grows. Trust and humility. No one is perfect. Everyone can be wrong. Trust requires humility. Jimmy Wales says, admitting you are wrong is a strength. People trust those who listen, learn, improve. Arrogance destroys trust. The danger of power without trust. Power without trust becomes dangerous. When people do not trust, they stop listening. They stop cooperating. They become angry. This leads to division, conflict, chaos. Trust keeps power balanced. Trust in the age of algorithms. Today, algorithms decide what we see. Social media controls attention. Jimmy Wales warns, algorithms without ethics destroy trust. If systems hide truth, promote lies, reward anger, trust disappears. Transparency is necessary. Trust requires transparency. Transparency means openness. It means showing how decisions are made. Wikipedia shows edit history, sources, discussions. This builds trust. Hidden systems create suspicion. Open systems create confidence. Personal trust versus public trust. Personal trust is emotional. Public trust is structural. Public trust needs clear rules, fair enforcement, equal treatment. Jimmy Wales focuses on public trust. Society depends on it. Trust can be rebuilt. Trust can be broken, but it can be rebuilt. Steps: admit the problem. Apologize honestly. Change behavior. Stay consistent. Rebuilding trust takes time. There are no shortcuts. Why this book matters. This book is not just theory. It is practical. It teaches how to build trust, how to protect truth, how to create fair systems. Jimmy Wales believes the future depends on trust. Trust cannot survive on feelings alone. Trust needs structure. Trust needs rules. Jimmy Wales explains a clear idea. If you want trust at scale, you must use rules, not emotions. Small groups use personal trust. Large societies need public trust. Public trust needs clear rules, fair systems, equal standards. This is how Wikipedia works. Why rules are necessary? Without rules, power is abused. Truth is ignored. Loud voices win. Rules protect everyone. Rules do not limit freedom. Rules protect freedom. Jimmy Wales believes freedom without rules becomes chaos. The first rule of trust: truth comes before everything. The first rule is simple. Truth is the highest value, not popularity, not money, not power. Truth must come first. What truth means in this book: truth does not mean opinion. Truth does not mean belief. Truth means verified facts, reliable sources, evidence. Jimmy Wales says, fast content is often wrong. Admitting errors is part of truth. Mistakes happen, even in trusted systems. Trust grows when errors are fixed. Wikipedia allows edits, corrections, public discussion, no hiding, no shame. Truth over egos. Ego destroys trust. When people defend mistakes, refuse correction, attack critics, trust breaks. Jimmy Wales teaches humility. Truth matters more than pride. Truth and leadership. Leaders shape trust. Good leaders respect facts, accept criticism, correct errors. Bad leaders deny reality, spread lies, attack truth tellers. Trust follows leadership behavior. Truth is not always comfortable. Truth can be painful. Truth can challenge beliefs, but comfort without truth is dangerous. Jimmy Wales says, truth protects society even when it hurts. Truth and freedom of speech. Freedom of speech matters, but freedom does not mean freedom to lie. Wikipedia allows speech, but it requires accuracy. Speech without truth becomes noise. The role of editors and guardians. Wikipedia has volunteers. They check facts, remove false info, protect standards. These people protect trust. Trust systems need guardians, truth, and technology. Technology is neutral. People decide how it is used. Algorithms can promote truth or promote lies. Jimmy Wales warns technology must serve truth. Truth in the digital age. Digital speed threatens truth. Clicks matter more than accuracy. Attention matters more than facts. This creates a trust crisis. Jimmy Wales calls for responsibility, teaching truth to future generations. Truth must be taught. Children need critical thinking, source checking, media literacy. Trust begins with education. Truth as a moral choice. Truth is not only technical, it is moral. Choosing truth means being honest, being fair, being brave. Jimmy Wales believes truth is a duty. What transparency means. Transparency means openness. Nothing important is hidden. People can see how decisions are made, who makes them, why they are made. Hidden power destroys trust. Transparency versus secrecy. Secrecy creates fear. Transparency creates safety. Secrecy says you don't need to know. Transparency says you have the right to know. Jimmy Wales strongly supports transparency. Why transparency is essential today. Today's world is complex. Systems are powerful. Platforms influence millions. When systems are invisible, people feel controlled. Transparency gives power back to people. Wikipedia's radical transparency. Wikipedia shows everything. You can see, edit history, editor discussions, rule enforcement. Nothing is hidden. This builds deep trust. Edit history and trust. Every change is recorded. You can see what changed, who changed it, when it changed. This stops manipulation. Accountability increases trust. Discussion pages matter. Wikipedia has discussion pages. Editors explain why edits were made, why content was removed. Disagreement is visible. This honesty builds confidence. Transparency reduces corruption. Corruption hides in darkness. When actions are visible, abuse decreases. Fairness increases. Jimmy Wales says, sunlight is the best protection. Transparency in leadership. Leaders must be transparent. They should explain decisions, admit limits, share reasoning. Opaque leadership creates suspicion. Transparency does not mean chaos. Some people fear transparency. They think it causes confusion. It weakens authority. Jimmy Wales disagrees. Clear transparency creates order. Boundaries of transparency. Not everything must be public. Private data matters. Personal safety matters. Transparency must be balanced. Jimmy Wales supports ethical limits. Transparency builds long-term trust. Short-term secrecy may seem useful. Long-term secrecy always fails. Truth eventually comes out. Transparency prevents damage. Technology and hidden systems. Algorithms decide what we see, what we believe. Most algorithms are hidden. Jimmy Wales warns, invisible systems control behavior. Transparency is needed. Platform responsibility. Platforms influence public thought. They must explain how content is promoted, why content is removed. Silence destroys trust. Transparency versus manipulation. Manipulation works best when hidden. Transparency exposes manipulation. People can question, challenge, correct. This protects democracy. Transparency empowers users. When users understand systems, they feel respected. They feel involved. Trust becomes shared. Mistakes and transparency. Mistakes will happen. Transparent systems. Admit errors. Explain fixes. This increases trust. Cover-ups destroy credibility. Transparency in media. Media organizations need transparency. They must show sources, corrections, editorial choices. Trust in media depends on openness. Transparency is a cultural value. Transparency is not only technical, it is cultural. Organizations must value openness. Without culture, rules fail. Teaching transparency. People must learn to ask questions, to demand clarity, to expect honesty. Transparency must be normal. Trust gives power. Power changes outcomes. Power influences people. Jimmy Wales gives a clear warning. Power without responsibility destroys trust. This is the third rule. Power must have responsibility. What responsibility means? Responsibility means owning your actions, accepting consequences, thinking about impact. It is not about control. It is about care. Why power needs responsibility? Power affects others. When people have power, their choices matter more, their mistakes hurt more. Without responsibility, power becomes dangerous. Responsibility in information systems. Information shapes beliefs. Beliefs shape actions. Platforms and editors hold power. They must protect accuracy, reduce harm, serve the public. Wikipedia and responsible power. Wikipedia gives power to users. Anyone can edit. This is strong power. Responsibility is enforced by rules, community review, accountability. Freedom and responsibility work together. Accountability builds trust. Accountability means answering for actions. People trust systems where mistakes are addressed, abuse is punished, rules are enforced fairly. No accountability means no trust. Clear roles and limits. Responsible systems define roles. People must know what they can do, what they cannot do. Unlimited power creates fear. Responsibility versus authority. Authority demands obedience. Responsibility earns respect. Jimmy Wales prefers responsibility. People follow those they trust. Responsibility and leadership. Leaders must lead ethically. Good leaders listen, admit errors, protect truth. Bad leaders blame others, hide failures, abuse power. Trust follows behavior. Responsibility requires courage. Being responsible is hard. It requires saying no, accepting criticism, making unpopular choices. Trust grows through courage, responsibility, and fairness. Rules must apply equally. No special treatment, no favoritism. Fairness builds trust. Community enforcement. Wikipedia uses community enforcement. Users watch behavior, report abuse, correct errors. Shared responsibility strengthens trust. Responsibility and consequences. Actions have consequences. Responsible systems explain penalties. Apply them consistently. Without consequences, rules mean nothing. Responsibility in the digital age. Digital platforms scale power fast. One decision can affect millions. Jimmy Wales warns, scale without responsibility is dangerous. Responsibility over profit. Profit can conflict with trust. When profit comes first, truth suffers. Users are exploited. Responsible systems choose trust over money. Responsibility and human dignity. People are not products. Systems must respect. Privacy, safety, human dignity. Trust depends on respect, learning from mistakes. Responsible systems learn. They review failures, improve rules, prevent repeat harm. Growth builds trust. Responsibility is ongoing. Responsibility never ends. It must be practiced daily. Trust requires consistency. Trust is not a one-time action. Trust is a long journey. Jimmy Wales explains, trust must be protected every day. The final rules focus on community, humility, sustainability. These rules keep trust alive. The fourth rule of trust. Trust is a shared responsibility. Trust does not belong to one person. Trust belongs to everyone. Strong systems share responsibility. Wikipedia is built this way. No single owner, no single voice, many contributors. Why shared trust matters. When trust is shared, abuse is limited, errors are corrected, power is balanced. When trust is centralized, corruption grows, voices are silenced. Jimmy Wales supports decentralization, community as the guardian of trust. Communities protect standards. A healthy community watches behavior, enforces rules, encourages honesty. Community action keeps trust strong. Community over control. Control uses force. Community uses cooperation. Wikipedia succeeds because people care, people volunteer, people protect truth. Trust grows through participation. The fifth rule of trust. Humility builds credibility. Humility means knowing limits. Jimmy Wales says, "The moment you think you are always right, trust is lost." Why humility matters. No one knows everything. Everyone makes mistakes. People trust those who admit errors, accept feedback, learn continuously. Arrogance breaks trust. Humility in leadership. Good leaders ask questions, accept criticism, share credit. Bad leaders silence others, protect ego, blame outsiders. Trust follows humility. Wikipedia and humility. Editors are equal. No one is above rules. Experience matters, but humility matters more. This balance protects trust. The sixth rule of trust. Trust requires consistency. Trust grows slowly. Trust breaks quickly. Consistency is key. People trust systems that are predictable, fair, stable. Why consistency is important. Changing rules unfairly destroys trust. Selective enforcement creates anger. Consistency shows integrity. Jimmy Wales believes fair rules applied equally build confidence. Consistency over time. Trust is tested during crisis. Strong systems. Stay calm, follow principles, avoid panic decisions. Consistency proves reliability. The seventh rule of trust. Trust must serve the public good. Trust is not private property. Trust serves society. The final rule is clear. Systems must serve people. Public good over private gain. When systems chase profit only, truth suffers. Users are exploited. Jimmy Wales warns against this. Trust must benefit everyone. Wikipedia's mission and trust. Wikipedia exists too. Share knowledge. Educate the world. Serve humanity. This mission builds trust. Purpose matters. Long-term trust thinking. Short-term success can harm trust. Long-term thinking protects it. Trust requires patience. Good systems plan for the future. Trust and the next generation. Trust must be passed on. Education is essential. People must learn. Critical thinking. Ethical behavior. Responsibility. Trust is taught. Trust in a changing world. Technology will change. Society will change. Trust principles remain. Jimmy Wales believes tools change. Values must not. Rebuilding trust after failure. Failure happens. Trust can return if truth is told. Responsibility is accepted. Change is real. Rebuilding takes time. Final message of the book. Trust is fragile. Trust is powerful. Trust is necessary. Jimmy Wales leaves us with hope. He believes people can build systems worth trusting. Complete book summary. The 7 rules of trust teach us. Truth comes first. Transparency builds confidence. Power must have responsibility. Trust is shared. Humility builds credibility. Consistency protects trust. Trust must serve the public. Together, these rules protect truth. Final thought. Trust is not automatic. Trust is a choice. Every action matters. Every system reflects values. The future depends on trust. End of full book summary.